Good afternoon. It is February 6, 2024. We're going to try this again without trying to cough and hack in your ear. Um, we're looking at a still version of our sun right now for a reason. And I really want you to observe everything that's going on our sun because it's a really active place right now. I want you to look at how this region is developing into filament regions. We have two sunspots. They're sitting right here. I want you to look at how they're going to form a tube reaching backwards, a filament tube that's reaching backwards, that's conducting electricity backwards. And there's a region back here as we rotate this around on the northern mid latitudes. Back behind, just out of sight, there is a very active region that's been kicking out very large CMEs and flaring on the back side of this. It will be earth facing or into view so where you can see the construction of that sunspot in the next couple of days. But we start to see the beginning of a tube of filaments that's reaching back into that region. I want you to watch the development here of all these sunspots, and this is starting to develop 76 to 78, and you're starting to see a trail of energy develop back toward that sunspot region as well. You have a thinning area here. Look at all this thinning here that's trying to develop into a coronal hole. We have 75 down here that is really, really active. And as I slowly rotate this around, I want you to start watch here. Then I want you to watch over here. And then I want you to watch right up here. Okay? Whoops. 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 Whoops, whoops. You get back here. He's gotten away from me. We're going to take this back. We're going to grab him and we're going to take it back. Okay. So here is, and if you watch the lighter areas in the sun or on the corona right there, you'll start to see right here, right before the satellite rolls, there was something there that cracked and poppled. And we got a satellite roll. And watch how that develops right there by 36. You see that tube developing? Now, I want you to go down and I want you to look at 75. Look at how 75 is developing. Watch how it's condensing its energy. That energy is getting stronger. That filament's lifting stronger and stronger and stronger. Look at there. It's starting to lift off from the sun. Look at how strong that filament tube is getting above it. See how it's reaching. It's getting really active. The activity is getting more condensed. Whoop, there it goes. Right there. See how it picked up? It splashed up. And there is your filament. There is that positive loop of energy it's going around. And there it broke. Okay? As I stop it right here, you can see there's the plasma that's getting ejected. And here's, whoops. See if I can get it back here. There's a plasma that's getting ejected. It's super dense and super thick. And here's the beginning of that reconnection happening, where that magnetic loop snaps back together. And you can see there's actually two of them there that are snapping back together, and that will condense it right back down into that spot. But there's splash out happening, and it's starting to go sideways too. There's a splash that happens, and there's stuff getting ejected out sideways too. So it's getting a multiple ejection right here. We have a tornado down here that's picking up something and splashing it out. Okay, so there that's gone. And right here, you can barely see it, but right there is a flicker right in here that took off about the same time. And as I toggle it back and forth, you can barely see it. There's a flare that happens all the way through this southern region. So there is an answering flare that hit the mid-latitude, so we're going to get an echo up there of some activity. Now, go right up to the top. Satellite's going to roll. I want you to watch right there at the bright top, right above the bright tubes. You can see that there is a filament. Look right here. You see how there's this great looping latitude right here, just above this sunspot that loops right through here? And it's just beginning to reach up and start to break right here. And here it goes. Wow! There is a huge CME right there. And that, while it's moving up and away, it is huge and it's wide and it's sideways. So that one may hit us. That may get enough down toward us because it's moving in a bigger circle. And that one may get enough to give us a really good shot. And here you go. You can already see it starting to reconnect. As the plasma leaves the sun, you could see it reconnect right there. And that is what we call magnetic reconnection. And you could see another answering whop right here, and that's what'll hit us. There was another explosion right there and a change in what happened right here. There's something right there that took off a little bit too. A change right in there. So we are probably going to see a little bit of something out of that. But you can see just how active this is all the way around the regions. It's quieting in the middle, but it's still just boiling all the way around it. So we're starting to see the development of a coronal hole that's apt to be very massive. And that should be around, that's a good thing, because that's a predictable thing. If we know it's going to be developing, it'll be back around about the 3rd. If it develops into a coronal hole, and that we can predict. And look at all these active regions. I mean, this is just trailing right back to that sunspot. This is trailing back to that big sunspot. So we can potentially see another round of activities for at least another week. Now, looking at our sunspots, this is 76. This is 78. 78 is still an alpha. It's still not developed yet. And up in here is that sunspot we can't see that's just around the limb. But you can kind of tell that there's some magnetic something back here that's drawing this whole area. It's drawing a line of electromagnetic energy, a current, if you will, that runs between that line back there, that spot way back there, to this one. So we are going to look for this all to develop a little bit. Okay, this is 77 is this one right here. It is up 2 spots, which I think are developing over here. It is up 15 It's a 15% of what it was. So it's a little larger than it was. And it is growing. And that's the one that sent us that great big whopping whop off the northern limb. This is 3576. It is now beta gamma delta. Now, what does that mean? If you'll notice, this is a very irregular shape. It is not mirrored. It does not have an even distribution of sunspots. It's very irregular. It has an irregular distribution of positive and negative spots. So it doesn't have an even number of polarities. Each one of these spots have both polarities in them. So all of these spots have the potential of erupting at any time. All of them have both negative and positive charge within them, but they may be negatively charged, they may be positively charged overall, but they both have the polarities to make them pop. And it is beginning to fill in between the 78 and 76. We're starting to see this fill in between them. This is 75. Now it is losing its size. It's down to 7 spots, but it is becoming more eruptive and it is producing some big stuff, but it's going to be beyond our reach here by tomorrow. This is 74. It is 2 spots, positive and negative. And it's not growing a whole lot. It's just pretty much holding level at this point. This one we want to pay attention to because I'm starting to see the positive charge collect around that negative. And this one is growing in size. This spot here it's still an alpha class, so it's only one spot. It's only got the one polarity, but it is growing in size. This is the one we really want to keep our eyes on because this is the one that can develop as it goes around the 27-day cycle. This is 70. It's 2 spots. It's really not doing much yet. But again, this can get charged and make it around that 27-day cycle. This is in that really active region off, starting around the outgoing limb. It is really not doing much, but it still could produce a flare or a CME, still in the beta class range. This is attached just underneath it. This still too is a beta class, still could produce something. And this is pretty much gone. This one is just out of reach and starting to go. So basically, if it's over here, it's not going to do much for us. You want to pay attention to the ones on this side of the sun. These are the ones that are going to start pulling the activity now. And 71 is going to be kicking off in the next day or so. And these have the potential of growing. All of 70, 74, 77 have the potential of growing in the next few days. And you want to pay attention to them because 77 is growing. 74 could start growing and they could start picking up as they reach this area. Now, we have a slight chance at seeing something tonight. It won't be big. Possibility of maybe a 4 on the outside chance. You want to remember this is plasma on the top. Plasma will always, always, always give us more than wind. They are giving us a hump, so that last night they predicted the hump would be over by tonight. They're extending that out until the 7th, tomorrow night, and then predicting a dissipation, and then wind will pick up and carry us through the 9th. I kind of think that it's reasonable, and then they think that this will pick up again. I think these are in the realm of possibility. Will they scoop each other? Possibility, because if you come back over here and look at this again, you have fairly fast. You had really slow winds here, followed by some fast. You've got a slow wind here, followed by potentially fast activity here. So yes, I do think you have the possibility, if it's all the right trajectory, and that's what counts, is it moving in the right direction to scoop it at this point. It's not just how fast it moves, it's got to be moving in the right direction fast. I don't think it all is. We have a lot of stuff going north of us. We got up above us. We got a lot of stuff moving down away from us. I don't think we have it moving straight at us enough yet to really give us that bump up. I think it's coming, but it's not here yet. So that's what we're looking at right now. Don't lose hope. Looking at the 10-day forecast for northern Michigan right now, Wisconsin, Minnesota, you may be a little bit clearer because we're dealing with the evaporation off Lake Michigan. We're supposed to be cloudy for the next 3 nights. Possibility of some rain on Thursday. Friday night, we may be clear. Saturday night and Sunday, possibly some snow showers. Monday night, we might get a break in that. Tuesday, again, we're into some of that snow shower activity. Next Thursday, into some clear activity. And then we're going to see some snow showers moving in. And then later this month, we'll see some return to some partly clear skies. Of course, you know, this is subject to change and what that atmospheric river coming off of California is going to do. Now, we're all just jonesing for spring right now with all this wonderful melted snow and activity. So, and the groundhog saw his shadow, so he's saying, oh, spring isn't going to be early. Well, that groundhog can lie. So I'm going to challenge you to get out your cameras. We're going to start watching nature. And here's what we're going to watch for. And I'm going to challenge you, as you get pictures of these things, to start posting them. And post where you find them. You want to go to the riverbanks first. You want to look at the riverbanks because they'll warm up the first. When are the willows along the riverbanks turning red? When is the sap running into the red willows? When you get the red willows, that means there's going to be spring about 6 to 7 weeks out. So then we start watching for trees. We want to watch the willow trees. When we see the willow trees turning bright yellow, you're about 4 to 5 weeks out from spring. Then you're going to watch for the maple trees. When the maple trees start turning and budding out a little bit and the sap is running in the maple trees, then you know you're maybe 3 weeks out. And the first person that gets the pictures of the painted turtles gets the big prize. They get a night out with me. So the first person that gets the painted turtles out and posts a picture of the painted turtles in Michigan gets to come spend the night up at the church with me or out with me one night. Free of charge. You get to spend the whole night enjoying time with me. Because when you see the painted turtles up, you know spring is here and it won't frost again. So, everybody have fun with your cameras. Start hunting spring. If you see robins, post them. If you see geese flying north, post them. If you see trees budding out, start posting them. Post where you're seeing them. Because nature doesn't lie. Nature's going to tell you what's going to happen. So let's start watching nature. Let's start learning how to predict our life by nature. So I'm going to leave you all there with the challenge to keep you busy and your minds busy while we groan through the rest of this month waiting for better weather. And you're all, antsy and jonesing for better weather. Let's keep our brains busy and do something about it. Also, I'm going to challenge you while you have clear skies, get out, start sighting your cameras. If you have a clear night, get out there and shoot stars. Get out there and shoot a church at night. Get out there and shoot some light trails in a downtown city. Anything you can do right now to get out and practice is going to help you long run, because you're going to remember and ingrain your muscle memory so that you don't forget what you're doing when the big storm comes, because overexcitement makes us forget things. We get distracted and overexcited and we forget steps. So you need to refresh your muscle memory so that you don't forget things. So get out there this month, do a little practice, start remembering how to do things so that you don't forget what you're doing. Sight your camera lenses in. Get them taped down to where you want them. Make sure all your batteries are charged. Order any extra cards you need. Order any new batteries you might need if you have a weak battery. Run your checklist. Make sure you got everything you need. Now's the time to do it, not get to the 9th hour in March and realize you need something. So, everybody have fun. Get busy. Get your brains busy doing something so that you're happy, cheerful, excited, and in the right frame of mind. And have fun. And right now, it doesn't matter if it's a daytime picture or a nighttime picture. Let's start sharing some photos. Let's start inspiring each other. Let's start working on composition. Let's start talking composition in groups. Let's start talking about what makes good composition in groups. And there's your homework. Have fun, everybody.